So hey guys, welcome to another video. Today we have a chest training session, and this chest training session basically consists only of two exercises. First, the incline bench press, and then second, the normal flat bench press. Now what we're gonna do today, however, is a huge amount of sets on each exercise. So what I'm trying to do is to do 15 sets of 10 to 15 reps, hopefully 15 reps, but we'll see, on the incline first because it's harder, and then the same thing on the flat bench. And I guarantee you, if we make it to 15 times 15 on each exercise, the chest will be completely done. Now the weight is obviously not the highest. I have two 5 kg plates here on this side and also on the other side. Together with a bar, it's 30 kg then. So it's not really any, massive weight, so to speak. But nevertheless, with the sets and with the repetitions to come, and this will become more and more difficult. So let's see whether we can really reach this goal of 15 times 15 on each exercise. I'm warmed up, not too warmed up, but I am. And I would say I start with the first set. Now make sure that you have a good grip, not too wide, not too narrow, that you balance everything out, and here we go. Now that was the first set. We rest a bit, and I can tell you that I already, this time my chair sits here, and I can already tell you that I felt it. Now, I haven't done chest training specifically, besides with a power twister. Since about 2 months maybe, or even more, because chest wasn't my focus once I hit my PR of 100 kg, so as a 1 rep max. I will attack this, of course, once we go back to heavier loads, but that's a story for a different time. So let's go with the second set. So 2 sets of 15. And I can already tell you the reps is what is going to create the problems, not the sets. The amount of sets for bodybuilding training, now if you consider that these are the only 2 exercises we're doing, is perfectly fine. Because in a normal gym, you have bench press or chest machines. You can have certain dumbbells that you can use, which I cannot use right here. So yeah, I'm fine. You have a bench press machine where you're sitting, or if you're lucky you find a gym where you have the standing variation, which is in my eyes even more impressive, or the better one, because if you want to train your pressing power, like pushing somebody away from you, well, that's simply the movement you have to train. So 3 sets of 15. And now you're starting to feel it in your triceps as well, not only in your chest but also in your triceps. And yeah, however, I do not really like to make that much or that long breaks between sets, because I think if you really want to build up the pump, especially in the chest area, it's always better to keep the pauses, the breaks, as short as possible. Because at the end, when you're about to take a shower, you want to see what the training really did for your chest. Now, if you want to have a more defined or a bigger chest, you should see it with the maximum pump you have, and not with a pump that's already starting to go away. And especially doing it, albeit only a slight incline, is of course, very taxing for the upper chest, which is, by the way, something which is as important to train as the lower chest, in my opinion. But training the lower chest here is not possible. I haven't got any benches for it, and for me personally, the lower chest is even more important, because I'm not having the problem that there is no fat on my chest and that my chest is too small anyway. That's not the problem. My problem is that it's not defined enough, and maybe therefore not strong enough, because I have a lot of fat over it. So yeah, if you have a lot of fat on your chest, it accumulates under your nipples basically, and that's the lower chest. So therefore, training the lower chest is also very important. Now set number 5. Now this is of course very hard to train in a gym that's crowded all the time. So you should either, if you haven't got a home gym and you have open gyms in the area you are living in right now, you should really pick a training time where your gym is not that crowded. So maybe if you really want to do that particular training, you have to do it at night or very early in the morning, because around noon or even in the afternoon it will be packed and people will not queue up for you, believe me. So number 6. So when I'm training the press on my chest, right? You can also, of course, do flies and expand the chest muscle. Not flex it that much, but expand it and then come back in with a flex like that. That's basically to strengthen your pulling power in your chest, but not the pressing power. If you want to do a complete pressing chest training, so to speak, I would really go from incline down to flat and then to decline, so that you're really hitting basically all three parts of your chest. What was that now? Is it number 8 or number 7? I think it's number 8 right now, right? Yeah. And you can make it of course even harder on yourself by simply doing the reps much slower than I'm doing them right now. But since it's a huge amount of repetitions anyways, I'm not caring so much about it, and I'm doing it for you guys in a video too. So I want to show you that within 20 to 30 minutes this session can be finished. Let's see how much time I really need for this one here, because it's my first time doing it actually. Set number 9. Then I was going for 18. See, sometimes it's crazy, sometimes you simply keep going and don't stop. Oh man. So now comes set number 10. And now you're feeling it more and more, guys. Now you're actually feeling it more and more. So 5 more sets, but I can already tell you that it becomes more and more difficult for me to lock out the last 5 reps. So until 10 everything is fine. Once you go above 10 it starts to become a bit more difficult right now, and it's not getting any better. So therefore I'm resting a bit more this time, but overall I'm content with everything. So number 11. So Don't be ashamed if you're using a very low weight, like I'm doing right now, because that's what's needed. You cannot do this with 70 or 80 kg if you are on my level right now. If you're of course Julius Maddox, the world record holder in the raw bench press, then you can obviously do this with maybe 100 kg on the bar, but not me, and of course not a beginner. So now set number 12. And guys, one thing you also have to keep in mind, if you don't have a spotter, choosing a weight that is too high, is simply too high for you, too heavy for you, can be extremely dangerous on the bench press, especially if you're still using colors like I'm doing right now. So if you're not really absolutely sure that you can do the next rep that lies in front of you with this weight, then stop it and go down in weight for the next set. Because once you have it here over your throat, it can already be too late. So it happened once to me when I was using 90 kg, or was it 80 or 90 kg for, no, I think it was 90 kg for a double. And on that day, I already did like 5 or 10 repetitions with 70 kg in a row, and went back up after a short amount of time to 90 kg. Wanted to do a double. Now I did it once, but the second time I failed. And luckily, it was not here on my throat, but really on my chest. And I had now the problem that I'm using collars here simply because of the floor. So I had no choice to let the plates slide off the bar. And therefore I had to roll it over my thighs and over my chin. And that was extremely painful, and I was lucky that I got rid of the weight, because if it sits there too long, everything will cramp and you will have no chance whatsoever to get rid of the weight anymore. So if it happens to you guys, just make sure that it does not sit on your throat but on your chest, and then try to roll it away from you if you're using collars. If you're not using collars, then simply let the plate slide off on one side, hold it there, that it doesn't hit you, and then let the weight slide off on the other side. That's simply the trick behind it. But that's obviously all not necessary if you're a bit responsible. So now set number 13. So now we have 14 and 15 left on this exercise. And now when we go back to the flat bench, we're basically using the whole of our chest muscles. And that's good, because now we have a preconditioning here on the upper part of the chest, which will automatically make our body use more of the rest of the chest. So we get a good workout, and 2 exercises are perfectly enough. Therefore, I'm really saying you can do so much with barbells. Even if you don't have a bench, just basically get yourself a small rack or something where you can put the barbell, where you can rack it on, and do floor presses, which are even better for your chest. But remember, due to the fact that you don't have the full range of motion because the floor stops you, you're not able to press so much weight. So always be reminded of that. So one more set on this exercise. I can already see the pump here. And there are so many variations of the bench press. Now, what you can obviously do is, for example, place your feet on the bench to have less leg drive, or even put them in the air so that you have no leg drive at all, and everything comes from your core and of course your chest and your arms. But this time we play it safe. We're doing a huge amount of volume, and therefore I'm using every support I have right now in my toolbox. Was it now 14 or 15? I don't know. Let's say it was 14 because I don't want to cheat on myself. Or cheat myself, basically. So you will need around, without all the talking, around 20 minutes. Maybe. Yeah. To do this one exercise. So we can say, maybe because the flat bench is easier, that you will need about 35 minutes maybe. Yeah, around 35 minutes without talking to anybody, without any introduction, without speaking to anyone. Around 35 to 40 minutes to do these 2 exercises, I think, if you're using the proper weight. And I can tell you, I used the proper one, because I can tell you 5 kg more on each side and I wouldn't have made it through this exercise. So it was basically testing too, because I didn't really know whether I could handle 40 kg, but I think it was, well, obviously it's now clear that 30 kg was the better choice for this training here. Now, to the last set on the incline. Good. Good, good, good. So now the only thing we change is this here. And one thing I sort of like, but also dislike at the same time, is when you take a look at the flatness of the bench. Well, it's not, you cannot really see it, can you know? You cannot. There's still a little bit of an incline left. So it's not fully flat. That's something I like on the one hand, because it's incorporating more of the upper chest. But I also dislike it at the same time, because it makes PRs on a flat bench and stuff like that, of course, a little bit more difficult. Well, that's what you get when you have home equipment. But I'm absolutely grateful for everything I have here in my home gym. Some people wish they had only half of it, so especially in these times we should be thankful for everything material we're having, although there's nothing else left really than that. No social life whatsoever. So yeah, now the flat bench will be easier, but as I said, I'm tired already from the first exercise. I can feel it burn in my chest, so we'll see. Now I have to adjust the grip, of course, to the fact that we're using here the flat bench. I have to adjust my feet to make sure I get the leg drive. And I would say then, here we go. Yeah, so it's definitely easier, but I'm feeling very tired. And that was only one set of 15 now. Set number 2. And now you can see that everything from my shoulders to my arms to my chest, everything is really starting to weaken from this point out, from this point onwards. Whew. And by the way, if you're interested in training your shoulders, besides shoulder training itself, of course, you should really do bench presses and incline bench presses. They are perfect exercises, especially for your front shoulder. And of course, the stronger the incline, the more it goes on, well, basically your whole shoulders, the whole deltoids. The more your bench is in an inclined position, the more you are incorporating your shoulders. But also the basic version, the flat version, is a perfect exercise for your front shoulder and also for the rear delts, because you're also pushing, if you can see it, you're pushing also by the force of your back, of course. And here, especially in this movement, the upper back. So you're incorporating the rear delts here as well. So, yeah. Only the side delts are not so much incorporated, but, well, when you go to the incline, it gets a bit more. So now, set number 3. That was now set number 4. Now, I didn't want to do it, but I think in order for me to complete this exercise, I have to drop 1 5 kg plate. Otherwise, it takes me more than an hour, which I don't want to. So, now only 20 kg left. Therefore, shorter breaks and faster finish. Because I think one more set with 30 would have been possible, but I'm not sure whether I could have made it up to 15, and I want to keep the rep range constant. This is actually the rep range and the sets constant, which is more important to me. So for set number 5, we're only going with 20 kg now on the bar. So that was set number 5. After a shorter break, we're gonna start with set number 6. That was set number 6. Set number 7. And now you're really starting to feel it everywhere. And I might even incorporate a last finishing exercise, but first we have to make this. And yeah, to give the chest basically the killing blow for today. Set number 8. Set number 9. So sometimes it's also nice to keep your arms hanging like that to make sure they rest too. But not for long, because remember, you're stretching your pec while doing that. So you're also weakening your chest muscle that way. The best thing, of course, would be if somebody would hold my arm, so to speak, while doing this break. So, what you can see, obviously, after these 10 sets here, and especially after the last one, is that oxygen plays a huge role. Because once you're in that set, there's only short in and out breathing, and not really the chance to fill your lungs and fill your upper body with a lot of oxygen. So, especially when it comes to the final stages, to the later stages, where you already know, well, it's not getting any better from here, it's getting worse rep by rep, basically, is that you want to start a new set, try to breathe in 2 or 3 times as deep as you can, and then start the set. Okay? Then breathe out and start the set. And breathe out slowly. So, and then you go for it. So 11. Sets. These are now 27 sets, guys. 27 sets on one muscle group. Imagine that. No, I don't want you to feel sorry for me. I just want to remind you of the fact that it's huge. If you think about it, it's basically one main muscle group. Supporting muscles are always there, so you cannot really count them. That's a lot of sets, guys, and also a lot of reps, because we didn't go down, neither in reps nor in sets. The only thing we did now was simply going down in weight to accomplish basically our goal today. Now we did 12, which means there are 3 more left, 13, 14 and 15. Let's go for 13. So 2 more. Now, what you obviously could do now is try to go for 30, right? But I'm not gonna do it because I still have something else in mind for finishing basically this chest exercise or this chest training in total. So I'm gonna do 2 regular sets of 15. Take a little break here and there. So 15 sets of 15 on the flat bench, 15 sets of 15 on the incline, or vice versa. Now, that is basically it for that, but I want to do something to basically kill it, to kill my chest off completely, and that's of course nothing else than this power twister. Now what I'm going to do is, simply for killing it, 10 reps in a double overhand position and 10 reps in a double underhand position. We start with the overhand. Right. 9 and 10. Short break. Now 10 in the double underhand to make sure we get a bit of contraction in the lower part of the chest as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And that's it, guys. Thanks again for watching and see you the next time.